roads are absolutely filthy. There's a film of oil and mud and water and some leaves. And even though my car is four-wheel drive and it's pretty sure-footed, it's still slide if you have to bang the brakes on it. Well, there's another bloke driving his bike. Hasn't got his head up, there's no idea what's in front of him. Yeah, so that's the muddy bit. You can go in the muddy bit because that's your passing place. Go on then, mate. Go on. Go forward. Yeah. Oh, I feel the wheels spin. I'm just trolling along in first gear, which is just as well because that guy wasn't going to stop, was he? Filming you, mate. You had no intention of stopping, and now you've slowed right down just to be annoying. Yeah, I can't overtake you on this road, can I? So it's AY13 DMX, just to make sure, in case it's not on the camera. This is the Easy Life black box itself. It's quite a simple unit. These are really cheap. I think they sell them in America for about $11. It comes with this mount, and the mount is pretty good actually, and well designed and well made. This little bit here, this is a bit flimsy, looks as though it might break. It has a lithium battery inside it, which is just in there. Now, the lithium battery can only be charged on the car, which means basically it's pretty useless. It's used for preview, but it doesn't seem to hold any charge. So we can turn it on, and we turn it on. It hasn't held the charge at all, which makes it really difficult, obviously, to play anything back if it's not on the car. What you actually have to do is connect it to your computer and play it from there, or you can just download it across. This part of it obviously is pretty weak. They give you a really long cable, which is good if you've got a big vehicle, but the downside is it has to be plugged in the whole time, so the cable has to be run out of your site. The other thing is it is powered through a USB, and it's got this little plastic tag which needs to be open all the time, so that's obviously going to get snapped off. On the other side there is another socket, but it didn't come supplied with another wire. It comes with this book. The book isn't that good, and I've noticed that my dad, who actually gave me this to use, he's had to mark up each diagram so that he could understand how to make it work. And it's also a bit deceptive. It talks about the following settings can be adjusted, and talks about the volume, and there is not a menu in this for adjusting the volume, so the sound is actually really poor. In fact, all in all, for something that's probably cost you 10 quid, it's only just about good enough to say, yeah, this guy smashed into me, I didn't get his number plate, you couldn't hear what I was saying, and other than that, it's not very useful. This is the spec. It's called Object Action Sports Camera, and you can see there 1080p, waterproof, gives the video pixels there, super wide angle lens, waterproof up to 30 meters, probably is, 2-inch LCD, etc, etc, etc. This clamp doesn't come with a quick release, so you have to take the whole thing off every time. which is a bit of a pain really if you want to continually upload onto your computer to edit or anything like that. This is the camera in its housing. The housing's really nicely made. It's ever so thick plastic, big seal on there, everything's quite chunky, all looks kind of stainless as well, or at least chrome plated. The camera itself is the square block inside of it with HD written on it. What I've found though is the buttons have to be pressed really hard, and they don't work every time, which is a bit of a worry. So in order to fire it up, this is the on button and the menu button. So you press that, press it really hard, and then it turns itself on. And then the actual on button is on the top. Now it's showing it in film mode, and the SD card is in and the battery is full, but I found that you have to mess about with it so many times to actually fire it up, and that doesn't want to go. Right, now that's the fifth time, and that is now filming. So I'm now going to use that to film my iPod, and that is my iPod filming my car. This is what I normally use, the iPod, which is 64 meg one, cost about 220 quid. The resolution on the iPod is really awesomely good for what it is. I'm wondering how good it is on this much cheaper unit. That is my iPod filming my car. This is what I normally use, the iPod, which is 64 meg one, cost about 220 quid. The resolution on the iPod is really awesomely good for what it is. I'm wondering how good it is on this much cheaper unit. We'll see by giving it a test. The camera comes with a secondary bracket that you can just fit the camera unit straight into, and that pops in there and clips in. It's quite hard to get it in because this clip is really stiff. And we'll give that a run. I think we'll get much better audio out of this one. Bit of driving that one, right up the other side of the road. We found a pothole on the other side. I'm not sure they're any good in the dark, to be honest. I've got to turn around, haven't I, to get out of here. Oh, it seems funny coming back here. I haven't been down here for years. 5 years ago. That's Weekly Avenue just there. Just come across there, go to school. I'm not sure they're any good in the dark, to be honest. Turned around, haven't I, to get out here? Yeah. It's funny coming back here. I haven't been down here for years. How much you go to the school seniors in Braintree? Absolutely Braintree. Yeah. Well, I would like to end on a positive review, so here it is. This is a cheap mount that's come from a garden centre, and it fits your phone or your iPod. About $2.99. Really excellent value, does exactly what it needs to do. The other thing I've bought is a quadruple connector, so you can plug in 3 sockets and a USB. So I've got one that's driving my sat nav. That's a Navman sat nav. I've had that for 9 years. And another one that's driving the in-car camera. And then the other one goes off to the back of the car where I've got the other camera used in reverse. And if I wanted to, I've still got a socket left that I could use to charge my phone, which is just here. And this has got a little £2 mount, a clip-in mount. Absolutely ideal, perfect. The only thing to remember is keep the vent shut, otherwise you end up with a really cold phone.